Good day, my name is Louis Kotzé. I am a research professor at the Northwest University in South Africa and a senior professorial fellow at Lincoln University, and I specifically work on Earth system law. So my research is mainly focused on environmental law. I am an environmental lawyer by training, looking specifically at how law could provide better environmental protection in more general terms. And throughout the course of the past 10 to 15 years, my research has gone into the direction of where we want to look at how law could be reformed to provide better environmental protection. And one of the main purposes was specifically to look at how law could be more responsive to the increasingly changing Earth system. It is these systemic changes that we see in terms of climate change, for example, that law needs to respond to, but currently doesn't do so in a proper and adequate fashion. And this is exactly what we try to look at through the lens of Earth system law. The research specifically looks at the contribution of law to the causes and the systemic drivers of what we call the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene could be the new geological epoch where humanity is dominating the Earth system. It tells us that humanity has become as powerful as a volcano or even an earthquake, possible to change and capable to change the Earth system and its properties to a quantitatively completely new state. The purpose of the research is to look at both the contribution of law to drive the processes that are causing the Anthropocene, the contribution of law to exacerbate these processes, but also the inabilities of law to halt the processes that cause Earth system change. One practical example would be the inability of law to properly respond to climate change. We are unable as the human race to properly counter and to address all of the many challenges that climate change poses, both the ecological, economic and the social challenges. So the principal aim of Earth system law would be to take a more holistic view of the ecological problem that we are facing and to try and find solutions for law to reform itself, that it could more holistically and systematically address in a coordinated fashion all of the multitude issues that we are experiencing and the challenges that we are experiencing as a society in the current epoch of the Anthropocene. Our research to date suggests that what we suspected to be true is in fact that law is inadequate to respond to the socio-ecological crisis of the Anthropocene. Our findings suggest to date that law has significantly contributed to the many processes and the drivers of the Anthropocene. And perhaps the most pertinent and stark finding that would also raise the most challenges is that law will have to be significantly reformed to properly address the current socio-ecological crisis of the Anthropocene. So what the research has done to date is to map and to show the many deficiencies of law. And the next step certainly would be to try and find ways to reform law and to rethink law and how law is designed, how law functions in society, and how humans use law to respond more comprehensively at a deeper level and more sufficiently to these deep existential crises of the Anthropocene.